Good afternoon, Big Brother fans. This is Mike. It is Thursday, August 21st, and I am coming to you from my garage because I wasn't at work today, and this is the place I go when I need to record a Spreaker for everybody. And I promised I would today since it was the finale last night, so there's no way in the world my Spreaker right now is going to cover everything. I may do another one of these tomorrow morning with additional thoughts or something. I'm sure I'll do this for a day or two. Although I generally drop off the net fairly quickly after Big Brother ends. So, wow. That did not go as I expected. I, honest to goodness, thought it was going to be a... Can you hear all the crickets in my garage? There's like 2 or 3 in here. I, honest to goodness, thought it was going to be a landslide for Paul. I just did not see it. But, of course, I just thought they were hyping the anti-Paul sentiment in the house for ratings purposes or for getting people interested and to think that it wasn't going to be a landslide. I mean, frankly, Paul should have won. If Paul had answered the questions the way I thought he was going to, pardon me for 1 second. Okay. If Paul had answered the questions the way I thought he was going to, or the way I thought he should have, he would have stood a better chance of winning. Although, in retrospect, it sounds like it could have been, Cody may have had his mind made up already, so I'm not even 100% sure that it could have been a decision made that because the way Paul handled the way he handled his diary rooms that people saw when they were evicted, where he maintained the lies. And Jason made a comment in one of the interviews about how he said, he kept it going. He didn't need to. And we, at least on a few occasions, I know I commented on it, I think others did, he knew the person was going home, and yet he kind of wanted to take it to the next level. He wanted to see if he could do a little bit more, just a little bit more. Let's do let's do a little bit more. Let's do this extra, let's really make them think they're and just that whole, we're going to carry the lie to the next level. That seemed to gnaw on some of the house guests in their opinion. They were like, that was just going too far. So, That could be part of why it was such an anti-sentiment. I don't know if we're ever going to get an exactly true answer. Paul not owning it, you could see, and someone tweeted a GIF of it, and all of us retweeted it as soon as it happened. The second Elena asked the question about bullying, and you just watched Paul's, he kind of went like, whoa, what? Oh, didn't see this coming. Even though I don't know why he didn't see it coming, because he got that warning halfway through the season when they yelled over the wall that Paul's a bully, and he seemed to start to do some damage control for that. But he wouldn't own that he was getting people to do things. He wanted to claim that he was the puppeteer, that he was the mastermind, and yet he wouldn't say, well, yeah, I got you guys to do what I wanted to do, and it wasn't pretty, and, this is a game, and this is what we do. For some reason, he wanted to claim that he wasn't disloyal to people. Paul has a very big thing about image and how he's viewed. He was talking about his image and his product or whatever. He talks about his I think it's his Twitter page or what page. It's like, I never smile in my pictures. In the pictures he does for his business, I never smile because that's just not me. I shouldn't do that. So, that's you have to take these things into consideration. You have to think about what your image is going to be and how you're going to be perceived. And it's like, okay, maybe that's what's going on. Your image is, you don't want this image that you got people to do things. But there are so many examples out there of Paul getting people to do things, and Paul saying, I went to you, I tried to get you. Yeah, but we knew you were BSing. You would go to the one person and lie to them, and then you'd come back and say, yeah, and I just lied to them. And you would lie to everybody. So you would lie to Alex and say, I'm going to go try to talk them in to saving you. And then you go back to them, to the others. This is when Alex was up for nomination. He said, you go back into Christmas and Josh, and you would not be quite honest with them or what you told Alex. So you can't say you were completely honest with, or you were honest with people. You just, look, it's what you did. You played the game, Paul. You should own it. You should accept it. You should take it, and you should have done it on last night's show. But you didn't. I'm also wondering if you were getting, he used the term gassed a lot at the end. Maybe he was hearing a lot from production. Maybe they were pumping him up. Maybe he just thought he had this thing so wrapped up, and he was they had him do so many takes about being a mastermind. Maybe he started to believe his own hype. Maybe that's what happened, and that's why he hasn't been able to accept, he got really, really negative, there when after the interviews, and he's kind of like, we're only lip reading here, but it's like, oh gosh, and Josh is like, no, you did okay, and he's like, no, and maybe that's what it was he believed his own hype, and when it didn't happen the way he thought it was going to, I don't think, maybe it was the head shaking. The no at the last 3 votes as they all went for Josh, and he realized he was losing. Maybe that, I don't think that was that for show, or was that honest to goodness? Paul, if I said Josh at any point, I should have said Paul, sorry, but wouldn't be me if I didn't screw up a name or two. Or was that Paul just honestly freaking out, or was he doing it for dramatics? I don't know. He started to do the whole, overexcited mugging for the camera, or mugging knowing the camera would catch him mugging faces. It just annoyed me. So what else? On the show, it was an okay episode. It was a bit long, the 2 hours bit, but it's because they went through all the competitions that we didn't get to see. If they could have shown part 1 last week, they could have shown part 1 on Friday or on Sunday. They could have done that. I don't know why they're now holding it off until the finale, but obviously it's their new idea that they're going to do that. Part 2 probably went on a bit long, but again, they're filling time. The jury, the jury kind of went by in a blur. It seemed like more like arguing than it did an actual discussion, but there was some discussion. What was much better than the jury was with Dr. Will was actually the after show interviews with Dr. Will, or Will Kirby. Those of you that have never ever seen season 2 or season 7 and have only heard about Will Kirby and you need to watch those interviews with all the house guests, because he was pretty much exactly the person that he was in the house during those interviews. That was him. He would say so many things, and 90% of it was total bullshit. Just total telling you what she thought she wants to hear, and giving you side compliments and making fun of you right to your face in a way that you he did all of that with all the house guests, all of them. Telling Matt that Jeff had died, and then joking about it, and then coming back right afterwards and apologizing and saying, I've been told I can't say that, but that's not accurate. Jeff is fine. He's living in Denver. And it's like, I don't think he was told he couldn't say that. I don't think anything of what he said was accurate. I think it was he was constantly, I'm going to get fired for this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did this. Oh, this is horrible, and I'm sorry. And oh, I'm going to get fired. And it's like, no, you're not. This is, exactly what you're doing. CBS is perfectly fine with what you're doing. It's just who you are and how you do things. And they wouldn't have put you in this position if they didn't know. And it was such a breath of fresh air from Jeff and his dollar store gifts to the house guests and his standard questions, even though Will kind of fell back on the standard questions about the showmances. It was okay. He had fun. He had so much fun. I'm telling you, I haven't watched hardly any other interviews. That's the one to watch, Dr. Will. Just watch it. Fast forward to the slow parts. I've posted the link. It's on Facebook. You don't have to be a Facebook subscriber to read it. I clicked on it right out of my phone, and it opened it up, and it said, do you want to log in? But I didn't need to. I just scrolled down to the actual video and just started watching it. So you don't have to be logged into your Facebook account, or you don't need a Facebook account to watch that video. So check it out. Enjoy it. Sorry, drinking water. What else did I learn? So I'm talking all about Paul. Josh won. He did a better job. His arguments were more honest, and he actually was better prepared than I expected. I never saw him practicing his speech, so I was surprised. I was surprised that Christmas, in her interview with Dr. Will, mentioned that she thought that Josh was going to take her. And I just thought, what are you talking about? Are you doing damage control? Are you trying to claim that you didn't tell them to kind of get rid of you in essence? You volunteered to throw yourself out of the house. You can't go back and claim that Josh, you expected Josh to take you, because no, you didn't expect him. And why are you saying it now? Maybe realizing she thought that Paul was going to win, obviously, and she voted for Paul. I don't know if Paul would have voted for Christmas to win. I think Paul would have voted for Josh to win. So, yeah. So what else? Josh. Yeah, congratulations, Josh. You gave good speeches. You did a good job. You're not going to go down as one of the best winners of Big Brother. You're Ian, as someone else has said too, and several people said, it's like Dan and Ian's year again. It's Big Brother 14, where Dan, the vet, was standing up there, and the jury looked at Dan and kind of thought, yeah, you know what? No, we're not giving it to you. And I think in some ways, some of them said the same thing this time. Yeah, sorry, Paul, we're not giving it to you. And you can say he's ripped off, but that's what happens. So America's favorite player. Let's talk about that. So we, Big Brother Gossip Show, had pushed hard for Cody. We weren't the only ones by far, but Cody did actually get it. Now, I didn't care much one way or the other, which I got taken to task by Colette. But honest to goodness, I voted only for Cody. That's who I voted for every time. I even made a little video showing voting for Cody. I missed one day, I think, but every other day, I honest to God, 20 votes for Cody. Because, I mean, hey, if he gets it, we'll take credit for it. Now, the downside of that, and as I told my coworker John, I said, because he was not a Cody fan, and I said, well, look, I'm not. If Cody gets America's favorite player, don't worry. I will be tweeting at Cody and Jessica that he needs to look at some of the things he said and think about that and maybe educate himself a little bit. And I haven't done exactly that yet, although I did tweet at Jessica already one thing. Cody's Twitter account is private, and I don't know if it's ever going to be unlocked, but for right now it isn't. So, and I asked to follow it at the beginning of the season, so it has not been unlocked since. And I haven't been denied because I was still showed as my request was pending when I checked yesterday. But AfterBuzz, I think it was, did an interview with Cody, or published part of some of their interviews where they talked to both Jason and Cody. Jason apologized up, right, and left for his transgender comments, his homophobic things. I don't know if he apologized for the Kevin comment or not, but he did apologize for the transgender one. Said he's never even met someone that's transgender, wouldn't know if they walked up to them, and it was not the right thing to say, and he was sorry. So Jason has apologized as soon as he got out of the house. Whether you agree with these, whether it's sincere or not, I don't know, but he did apologize, so take that for what it's worth. Cody pretty much said exactly what he said in the house at the time he said it. Was nobody cares, it doesn't matter, I really don't care about other people's opinions, and I'm not going to say things just to appease people, and if you want this, kind of go to somebody else. He basically said no, don't care, not apologizing, which is fairly disappointing. And honestly, if Jessica is going to be with this guy, she's going to be dealing with that for a very, very long time, and she seems very much the driving force. She wants to do stuff, she wants to be popular, and Cody's going to drag that down hard. She's talking about the possibility, and one of the Hollywood Reporter's writers, the one that was covering Big Brother, said something about strong rumors about them being on Amazing Race, and Colette reported that early this morning. And if they want to be on Amazing Race, they're going to start getting more blowback because Cody's going to get some more questions. And if he keeps with that talk, then, it's just not going to be good for their brand, for Jessica's brand. She'll have to either consider, well, you know what, Cody, you can't do this. You're killing me here. The other thing was the thing after Buzz, I think, told him about the President Trump's thing about transgender in the military, and the quote they got from Cody was just, it's almost impossible to get in the military. You can't get in the military if you have an arched foot. I can't imagine someone who wants to change their sex. Having, I don't know. That's what it was, kind of a flippant answer if you ask me, if it was quoted correctly, and yeah. This is where Cody's just kind of really a disappointment. He could be such a positive influence, role model, someone speaking out about certain things and kind of bring some attention to stuff. And he seems to be choosing this, I really don't care about any of you people, go away. Which is maybe what'll happen. He'll just disappear. And frankly, as I will say again yet at some point, we voted for Cody for America's Favorite Player, not as much, a little bit because Cody actually tried to make a move, but more, frankly, because we wanted to say, screw you, Paul. You hate Cody so much, screw you, we're going to give it to Cody. That's the truth, too. I mean, when you ask people, when you put out a poll out there, you say, why did you vote for Cody for America's Favorite Player? Most people are going to say, or near at least half the people are going to say, to screw it with Paul. So Cody's already got the money, so he doesn't really care at this point, but it's just going to make it hard. I'm not going to run around and say, hey, I voted for Cody. It's like, no, I'm telling you guys, but I'm not going to be putting that on my banner page on Twitter. Voted for Cody in 2017. I think that's all I got for now. There's lots of interviews out there. There's lots of things being figured out. Moments in the finale that you may have missed. Did you catch Raven pursing her lips when she was standing next to Josh? Why the heck did Raven run right up to, or standing next to Paul? Why the hell did Raven run up to Paul as soon as he walked out the door? What was that all about? Kevin getting his arm stuck between Alex and Josh. Josh ran up and hugged Alex, and Kevin had just let go of Josh, I think, and his arm got stuck between the two of them. He's trying to yank his arm out, and he seemed kind of annoyed. Mark almost fell off the stage. He took a little stumble when he was going down some steps. That's in the finale in the last couple of minutes. No big faces other than Raven's face. They cut really quick to Josh, or to Paul, when it was announced he was. No, sorry, they cut really quick to Cody when it was announced he was America's Favorite Player. So you didn't see any jaws drop. The closest you got would have been Raven's. And she put on a fake smile as soon as she heard it with the jaw drop. Like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Kevin and Jason really didn't react. It was just Cody. And Cody's was kind of like, oh, what happened? Yep. Again, if I screwed up the names, yeah. I may have called Cody Jason a second ago. I realize these things, and I just am too lazy to go back and re-edit this. So it's a one shot for me. What else? There was one other thing, and I'm trying to think of what it was. The jury, the arms, someone sent out a GIF of when, after it was announced that Josh won, and Paul and Josh were walking the door, and Josh was basically trying to haul Paul with him to go out the door, like, come on. And Paul kind of pushed him, like, no, you got to go. And people are saying, like, he's really salty and ticked off. Now, I'm not saying he wasn't upset. Obviously, he was upset. But I think the gist of what Paul was doing was saying, no, you're supposed to go out alone. Go. And meanwhile, Paul was also like going, geez, man, I just lost, and was kind of going off to the side to maybe compose himself, to do whatever. He put his floaty thing, which I guess maybe since it was on the couch, he was planning on walking out with it wrapped around him if he was named the winner. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, Paul was not named the winner last night. So the show ended. The finale night was much better than I thought it was going to be. I honest to God figured Paul's going to win, and Kevin's going to win America's Favorite Player. Paul's going to win the game. Kevin's going to win America's Player. And if you'd asked me what was the best case scenario last night, I would have said Josh wins the game, and Cody wins America's Favorite Player. So it went exactly as I had hoped. Now, that's not how I wanted this season to go. I did not want Paul in the final two. I don't think Josh was a deserving final two. I wanted a couple other people. So I wanted some gameplay, but that all falls back to the fact that we start with Kevin or with Paul entering the house. That's where it goes back to. So, we can debate that again. I'm debating that with someone on Big Brother Gossip, who I reposted my list of top 5 players of all time with other people listed as well, and I added in Vanessa, who I hadn't had on that because this list was first published in 2014, so I updated it, and I added Vanessa, Nicole, and Paul. By the way, none of them are in my top players of all time. They are in my either honorable mention or never will be, and Nicole's in the never will be, and I actually have Vanessa and Paul in the honorable mention. Paul would not have been in my top forever, top 6 it would have grown to, even if he'd won last night, for all the reasons I've mentioned over the entire season. So, and that's who I'm debating this one thing with, where the person's arguing with me and saying I'm biased. What do you want me to say? It's my list. I get to pick who I want to put in it. I don't have Rachel in there either, and some people say she's like the greatest player of all time. No, she's really not. That's it. I'm done. I will do another one of these maybe tomorrow or maybe next week sometime. I'm not sure, but sometime I will. So talk to you guys later. Thank you, everyone that listens to me on Spreaker. We'll do another one of these soon. But thank you, everybody. There's about 300 or so of you that are loyal Spreaker listeners, and every once in a while some of you tweet at me. I do appreciate it. Anybody out there who has tweeted at me in the last 48 hours, with a thank you or good job or whatever they've said, and if I haven't replied, I'm sorry. My Twitter timeline has completely blown up with people commenting and tweeting, and there's just no way I can read them all. I just can't. And so if I have missed one of your comments like that, I apologize. I really do try to, when someone says thanks for all you've done or a thank you to me or something like that, I really try to say, thank you, because I want you to know that I read what you said. And right now, I just can't read every single thing that goes. I mean, my screen last night during the show and right afterwards was literally scrolling like, someone just had the enter key held down on a word processor and was just with all the comments that were coming through. So again, appreciate it. Everybody take care. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. I don't know if I'm going to do a Periscope yet today. Just because I don't know if I'm going to be out and about on my own. And I'm not going to annoy the wife if we're going someplace doing a Periscope, because that's the last thing she wants to hear about. She's already heard about it quite a bit today. So I don't want to annoy her too much. But eventually I will do a Periscope, probably tomorrow if I don't do one today. But I may find an excuse to go out and about for a little bit and do a Periscope. All right, I'm talking in circles. Goodbye. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye-bye.